We got a lot to cover. We'll be live in just a couple minutes. And we have so much to cover this morning. Oh, my goodness. A lot has happened over the weekend, and so many things. I'm going to start with Ramaswamy, and then some other big important things have happened, too, that I'm going to get into after that. Welcome, everyone. Oh, yeah. Things are looking good for Trump. We got a lot of great information involving President Trump this morning. And, oh gosh, so much more. I've got a stack of stuff like this, you know, like that thick. It's just like so much has happened. It's amazing what happens when after your head hits the pillow, huh? All right, let's see here. I know. Hunter Biden's the victim, huh? That's what he's trying to tell us. This guy's out of his mind. So I've told you guys, you know, the Bidens are criminally insane. They've been criminals their whole life. They don't know other way. They don't even know they're criminals. That's what makes them criminally insane. They don't even understand or believe that their crimes are crimes. All right, here we go. Seconds till showtime. Stand by.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All right. Yes, it is. It is Monday already, December 11th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. And man, do we have a lot to discuss, a lot to cover on the program today on a whole bunch of issues. I'm going to start with something involving Vivek Ramaswamy, which I found out over the weekend. And then there's some big things that are very, very good for President Trump. And what's good for President Trump is good for you, good for me, good for the country. And the world will get into that and a whole bunch more. I mean, there's just so much happening. But I'm going to jump right into it. Now, full disclosure, if you don't already know this, I have never been a supporter of Vivek Ramaswamy. I've told you guys he is just too much of a man of mystery. I don't like this smooth talker that I never heard of before. I don't like the Soros connection. There's so much about this guy that sends off so many red flags. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have good moments. He was great in that debate last week. He filleted those jerks, no doubt about it. But something came out over the weekend about Vivek Ramaswamy that I did break on my Saturday YouTube program. And if you guys don't follow me on YouTube, you should. Brian Craig Show on YouTube. But he is involved in a plot, and he's got a... Well, let me read the story, and then I'll get into it and share with you my thoughts. This is from the USA Today, and it's being reported in other places as well, but the story I'm sharing this from is from the USA Today over the weekend. Republican candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign has reached out to the Libertarian Party in Iowa to inquire about running for president on the Libertarian Party ticket. Now, the Libertarian Party is a very destructive party because, you know, and this is huge, and this is confirmed, by the way, by very credible sources, including Ramaswamy, which I'll get to in a bit. The Libertarian Party, they have a nominating convention every election. They nominate someone for president and vice president. Rarely do they get publicity. Every once in a while, someone well-known and famous gets it. Like, not Pat Robertson. Oh, shoot. I just forgot the name of the guy. Oh, well, it's early and I'm behind on my coffee. But, it escapes me. There was one very well-known guy who got the Libertarian Party. Pat Buchanan, thank you. Just came to my mind. Pat Buchanan, I believe, got the Libertarian nomination once, and it was a big deal. But the Libertarian Party is a tool of the Democrats, and they're too arrogant or stupid many of them to understand this. It's a third-party run. It's a third-party ticket. It doesn't have much hope of anything, but you get a big-name person on there like Vivek Ramaswamy, and there are a lot of very, very dumb people who will vote Libertarian out of principle over vote Republican. And this is a very bad thing. Campaign operatives for Ramaswamy, this is back to the USA Today article, campaign operatives for Ramaswamy attended a local Libertarian Party event in Iowa this week. And Ramaswamy himself has had conversations with 2 Iowa Libertarian Party officials, including one instance where Vivek Ramaswamy expressed interest in joining the Libertarian Party ticket. One of the officials with the Libertarian Party has confirmed this to USA Today. Ramaswamy in 2004 voted for a Libertarian presidential candidate. He's openly criticized Republican leadership and policies. He seeks the party's presidential nomination in the first in the nation caucus state of Iowa. But Ramaswamy has struggled to gain traction in Iowa and other early states. Ramaswamy's potential defection to a third-party ticket could shake up an election that already contains several independent hopefuls. Now listen to this. Asked Thursday if he would run under the Libertarian ticket should he be defeated in the Republican race, Vivek Ramaswamy said this. No, but held out the possibility the Libertarian Party might nominate him. He says, I expect to get the GOP nomination, Ramaswamy said. Yeah, right. Over Trump. Yeah, right. I have strong libertarian instincts. I can't stop them from nominating me, and I would be proud if they did. Ramaswamy said, I can't stop them from nominating me, and I would be proud if they did. This is the opposite of Lyndon Johnson. I will not seek out nor accept the nomination of my party. Okay? And I've told you guys about this Soros connection, that this guy is a snake. Now, obviously, a Libertarian Party candidate isn't going to win the election. Okay? Third parties, we're just not set up for third parties to be viable in our system. However, Ramaswamy is beloved by so many of these millennial and Gen Z MAGA conservatives. It shocks me. He's a vacuous person. I know he says all the right things, but what do you know about him? Not much. Try to spell his name without Googling it, huh? His last name. Yeah. He would no doubt take votes away. And I've got a concern here. And I think this is a possibility. Now this is something now, because obviously President Trump is always at least 5 steps, if not 10 steps ahead of all these snakes. Now, it's possible that when his campaign fizzles out, Trump brings him over to his campaign to keep him from doing this Libertarian Party thing. President Trump has never said a negative word about Vivek Ramaswamy. And a lot of that has to do with he understands how popular Ramaswamy is with young voters, and I guess he doesn't want to rock the boat with that. I don't know. But if you see Ramaswamy on the Trump campaign, which is also possible, it would be an attempt by Trump to keep him from going third party. And here's the thing. Guys like this don't like to get off the stage. When I saw him in person, when he was done speaking, they almost had to rip him off stage. He did not want to leave that podium, that stage, or that microphone. He was high on the attention of all the people in the crowd who were going nuts over him, Ramaswamy. I could tell he hated walking off that stage. Oh boy, did he. And guys like that don't like to play second banana. He also may be using this Libertarian Ramaswamy, maybe using this Libertarian story to get Trump to bring him to his campaign so he can get his George Soros infiltration plot going over there. There's a lot of weirdness going on with Vivek Ramaswamy, but this with the Libertarian Party is very real. And I'll tell you, there's another possibility with this. And I was talking about this on my Saturday show, guys. So those of you who watch me on Saturday heard me bring this part up too. Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s campaign is in some real trouble. And what would happen if we had a ticket on the Libertarian Party ticket that was Vivek Ramaswamy and Bobby Kennedy? Now, these guys are top of the ticket guys, and it'd be hard to get one of them to take the bottom of the ticket nomination. But that would no doubt, even Ramaswamy without Bobby Kennedy, but either way that worked out, it would siphon votes away from Trump in some states. And there's a lot of places in play that never were in play. Trump is talking about New Jersey being in play. Trump's talking about having rallies in New York State. So when we've got states like New Jersey that Trump has openly said are in play, we get some third-party guy who's Ross Perot 2.0 in a situation like this. Remember, Bill Clinton didn't win in 1992 just because he was so popular and everything. Ross Perot came in as the third party, siphoned Republican votes away from H.W. Bush, and boom, President Clinton won with like 43% of the vote or something. Ross Perot was working for the Clintons the whole time. And this story has been confirmed by top Libertarian Party officials, the Libertarian Party in Iowa, the Ramaswamy campaign, and even Ramaswamy himself about this Libertarian nomination process. He's given them the green light. I can't stop them. I'd be honored if they nominated me, he said. So what's going on here? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I've got some more on Ramaswamy after the break. Our number, and then I'll get into some of the new things with Trump, which are huge and great news. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's Monday. We're back live. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air.
No, I'm not happy about that. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think the plan is?
We're flying to the Rose Bowl for the college football playoff game between Michigan and Alabama. Come join us on a private...
These are snakes after President Trump.
To the airport in Van Nuys, California, near Los Angeles and Pasadena. Millennium Jet Card will fly from Boca Raton, Florida on the morning of December 29th and return to Florida on January 2nd in the afternoon for a great bowl experience. Call 561-660-8540 to book your flight or to get more information. Imagine how easy it will be.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the air. Call me on the air. Tell me what you think's going on here with Ramaswamy. Am I crazy, or you agree with me? What do you think the plan is? Is he working for Soros, the left, the Republicans?
660-8540 or check it out on the web, mjc30.com. That's mjc30.com. Millennium Jet Card, 561-660-8540.
This is John from Lighthouse.
I don't like it.
CFO and Director of Neuropathy. I want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year.
And
Anniversary, and we've been
it's very, very, very bad news. There's no good that comes out of that. Now, like I said, Trump may very well bring him over to keep him from going to that third-party ticket. I could see that. That's some real psychological politicking right there.
being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them
Someone left a comment
for the next
on my podcast on YouTube last night. Millennials see Vivek as the future of the conservative movement. Conservatives must consider what happens after President Trump. I'm not concerned about what happens after Trump's second term right now. We got to get Trump in his second term first, right?
with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Exactly. Now listen, guys. Get your Mighty Maga line available exclusively through me. There's a link pinned in the chat to MightyMagaLion.com. There's a link in the video description, or you can just go to the website, MightyMagaLion.com, and order yours. This is the hottest Christmas gift of the year. This is like the Beanie Baby of 2023, the Cabbage Patch Doll of 2023, and this is the only Trump-inspired merchandise with the MAGA hat, and it is available exclusively through me. If you order more than one, you get a discount. So go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours, or click that link pinned in the chat or in the description. It'll take you to MightyMagaLion.com. Order yours, guys. You'll love it. I promise you. Oh, man. Did you guys see the Vivek Ramaswamy P tape? I'm going to share that when we get back. The Ramaswamy P tape.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Bright Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Well, someone's backing him because he got that scholarship from the Soroses.
Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFM.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Have you heard the Vivek Ramaswamy P tape? Have you heard this, Mike? The Vivek Ramaswamy P tape? Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to talk to those of you who have neuropathy. Oh, man, neuropathy. You know, Steve had the neuropathy, and the neuropathy symptoms are torture, numbness, pain, burning, tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Some have no sensation at all. A lot of people have all these symptoms in rotation, many of them at the same time. It's living torture. And, you know, I found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Steve, his neuropathy symptoms were keeping him in bed like Charlie Bucket's grandparents in Willy Wonka. I'm serious. And we had our cruise coming up, we had an appearance coming up, and Steve's like, I can't get out of bed. I got all these symptoms. He went to his doctor. His doctor said there's no treatment. Steve begged and pleaded with his doctor. So his doctor sent him to a neurologist, which is a specialist, right? And the neurologist said, there's nothing you can do. There's no treatment for neuropathy, they told Steve. This is nuts. This is a specialist neurologist. And Steve's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Plus, he was, had no quality of life. And I went searching around, and I found Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works. It's worked in Steve Kane, and many people in this audience, you know what I'm talking about. If you or someone you know or love have neuropathy, get them over to Lighthouse Medical. Now, listen, if you can't make it in person, that's okay. No matter where you're located, they can help you. Even if you're local and you can't make it in, or you're somewhere else in America, they can still help you no matter where you are located. You can find them online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com. I'm going to give you the number. If you miss it, go to lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Remember to mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. All right, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on my premise there with Vivek Ramaswamy. We will get to the Vivek P tape in a minute and a few other things as well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark.
I read your thumbnail this morning and I saw the picture. George Soros is the king snake and Vivek is first in line to be the snake.
Yeah, he's one of the snakes in the poem Trump's reading all the time, right?
Yes, and I agree with you, but, there's a reason why the Philippines and I think the Netherlands, they banned George Soros from the country.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous with Vivek being backed by Soros.
Well, someone's backing him. Some people say, well, how do you know it's Soros? Well, I don't. I mean, I know he got that Soros scholarship. He's a Soros fellow. He had it wiped out from his Wikipedia. But what's going on now with Vivek Ramaswamy, to me, sounds like a very sophisticated plot that would take a lot of people to be involved with to make happen.
As you talk, it's really suspicious that Vivek came from nothing, and all of a sudden Soros...
And he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire and everything. He couldn't afford college. He needed a scholarship, and now he's a billionaire and retired. Come on, something's up with this guy.
Yes, you're correct. Vivek is a snake.
Mm-hmm. All right, Montana Mark, take care. Okay, so the Vivek Ramaswamy PJ, this is amazing. Okay, so This fits into Alex Jones. Alex Jones is back on Twitter. Elon Musk, after a 5-year ban from Twitter, over the weekend, Elon Musk lifted the ban on Alex Jones, who's back on Twitter. And it's a pretty big deal. Everyone's talking about it and all of that. And yesterday, Elon Musk hosted a Twitter Spaces, which is like a talk show on Twitter, with Alex Jones. And I turned it on to listen. The first voice I heard was Ramaswamy, which I just, was like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, this guy's everywhere. And that was disturbing. I'm interested in Alex Jones and what's going on here with this and Elon Musk, and I'm listening to Ramaswamy. And, these Twitter Spaces, people do them wherever they are, their car, their home. And Vivek Ramaswamy, in the middle of this Twitter Spaces, went to the men's room or the bathroom in his house to pee, and he didn't mute his mic. Now, it's gone worse. There was that guy at CNN that was on the Zoom masturbating. There's been a few of those stories. So I'm going to play this audio. This is the Vivek Ramaswamy pee tape. You'll hear Alex Jones talking, and Alex Jones says, hey, someone's going to the bathroom. And then you hear someone say, Vivek, that's you. And then Elon Musk chimes in at the end. Listen to this. I know. The Vivek Ramaswamy pee tape. This was yesterday on Twitter Spaces.
There are people that want a corporate world government whose aim is depopulation and not giving the general public access to technology by lying about resources and literally saying carbon dioxide that plants breathe is evil, and then telling us the world's going to end in 2030 and the ice caps are all going to melt, and none of that's true. So our children basically give up on the future. Somebody's got their thing open and everywhere else. Their phone open in the bathroom.
Okay, here my Alex Jones says someone's got their mic on and they're peeing. Someone's in the bathroom. This is Alex Jones's reintroduction to the world yesterday on Twitter, and this is what happened.
Are all going to melt, and none of that's true. So our children basically give up on the future. Somebody's got their thing open and everywhere else. Their phone open in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's Vivek. That's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you. Vivek. Perfect. Go ahead, Elon.
Sorry about that.
So, well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
I'm super pro-human.
Okay, yeah, so Elon Musk says, I hope you feel better now. And he says, I feel great. Thanks a lot. That's the PT. Now, I know. You probably think I'm just picking on this guy. But that Twitter Spaces for Ramaswamy there went about as bad as it could go. I mean, that was almost as bad as the Ron DeSantis campaign launch on Twitter Spaces. And, that just goes to show you, people when they're on, you never know where they are. Twitter's mostly used in the bathroom, but that's Ramaswamy. So, I'll throw that out there. What do you guys think about Ramaswamy? I think this is a very sophisticated plan. He very well could be working for the Uniparty, or he could be working for Soros. He's working for some anti-Trump forces. No doubt about it. And this Libertarian Party story backs up all the suspicions I've had about Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, I've got some great news involving President Trump, which I'm going to get into, and move on from Ramaswamy, but you're still welcome to call in about that at 1-888-GO-CANE1. Now, remember, it is Christmas shopping season. There is free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, but only until the 15th. That's 4 more days. Free shipping on all items at MyPillow.com, on top of whatever special you get, right? Like the mattress topper is, huge, 50% off. You get 50% off and free shipping. So you get free shipping plus whatever the special being advertised is too at MyPillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout. It's a special for Christmas. Free shipping on all purchases at MyPillow.com until December 15th. So this is the time to load up. Go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, guys. All right, now let me get into this stuff with Trump when we get back. I know there's a lot to cover. If you disagree with me on Ramaswamy, you're certainly welcome to call in, too. You don't have to agree with me to call. Yeah, a lot of people are calling him another Obama now. I see that a lot. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. You'll love my content. This is where MAGA comes to talk, no doubt about that. If you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video. That helps spread the word about the channel a lot. It gets the video and my other videos recommended to people that have not yet found my channel when you like the video. And make sure you are subscribed. I keep hearing from people, and I was very surprised to hear this, because I've heard so many people on YouTube say, people tell me they're not subscribed. They thought they were subscribed. And I thought that was total BS. I'm hearing from people all the time who have told me they thought they were subscribed and they're not. So make sure you're subbed and like the video, guys, if you don't mind. It helps the channel a lot. All right, yeah, so let me get through this stuff with Trump in the next segment. Let's see.
Far beyond what you should. Is your sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
The Jupiter Joe Money Show presents Christmas Oldies at Noon. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Join the True Oldies channel every day at noon for Christmas Oldies.
Kay said Trump was, and you never. Why have you never liked Trump, Ka? That's crazy. He's very likable. Why don't you like Trump? You said you voted for him, but you don't like him. Well, like I said, Trump could very well bring him into the campaign to control him, to keep him out of circulation with his own thing with the libertarians. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think Trump's incredibly likable. I love Trump. I don't see one quality about Trump that is not likable. All right, back after this. Yep. What the heck? All right, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We are back. It's Monday the 11th, and the first couple segments there brought up some stuff that pretty good. You know, if you ever miss a part of the show, you can always go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. And at trueoldiesfla.com, every day about an hour after we go off the air, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show as a podcast, and they're archived up there forever, trueoldiesfla.com. All right, there's some great news for Trump over the weekend. A new poll came out, a few new polls actually, and there's a couple things I want to talk about. This is the Wall Street Journal poll. For the first time, President Trump is polling way ahead of Biden in the national poll, and the Wall Street Journal's national poll. He's got a 4-point lead, and that's significant because that includes all those liberal states, okay? California, New York. So for the first time, Trump is pulling ahead in the national poll, in the Wall Street Journal poll, ahead of Biden. And also, he's even beating Biden in the same. Wall Street Journal did a very detailed poll, and they polled Biden versus Trump if Trump is convicted of all these things he's accused of in these different cases. And even if convicted in all these cases that they have, these ridiculous, absurd kangaroo court cases, even if convicted in all of them, Trump still beats Biden. Isn't that something? That's absolutely amazing. And, you know, the Democrats, the way they'll read that is, well, they're not pushing the crimes enough, so they'll push harder on it. And then there's swing state polling. This is absolutely amazing. It's good news everywhere for Trump. And what's good news for Trump is good news for America and good news for the world, okay? So we've got, for the first time in the Wall Street Journal national poll, President Trump is beating Biden. They did very detailed questioning, the second part I shared with you. If convicted of all these things, you know, the 1,000 years in jail that he's facing, if convicted of all of it, he still beats Biden in the national poll. Then, the swing state polling averages, this is amazing. In the swing states, Trump leads in all but one. And I'll go through these, and, you know, the swing states, the reason they call them swing states is because, I know most of you know, but, you know, there's some Democrats listening, so you got to get out the crayons and the fat pencils and stuff every once in a while. The swing states are the states that, unlike Florida used to be a swing state. Now it's red. A swing state could go either way during an election. Sometimes they go Democrat, sometimes they go Republican. They call them swing states, sometimes battleground states, sometimes toss-up states, okay? They got different names. But in the swing states, listen to this. Georgia, in the latest poll, Trump leads by 5.7. That's absolutely amazing. And this poll is as of yesterday, the 10th of December. Georgia, Trump leads 5.7. Arizona, Trump with a 4.9 lead. Nevada, a 2.9 lead. Pennsylvania, 2.3. These are leads. Michigan, a 1.3 lead. Wisconsin is the only place where he's not leading in the battleground states, the toss-up states. The Democrats lead by 1.9. So let's see here. We got 6 toss-up states, and Trump is leading in 5 of the 6 toss-up states. Oh, my goodness. That's insane. Also, we've got Ohio. You know, Georgia. Remember, Georgia, I was telling you guys at the beginning of last week, it may have been the week before, but the beginning of last week, I think is when it was, is the Democrats, the Biden donors pulled out of Georgia a week or two ago. So they've given up Georgia. And if you look at the red and blue map, you got a handful of blue, and most of the country, of course, is not just red, but dark, dark, dark red. So there's not one poll that's not good for Trump. And of course, in the Republican primaries, DeSantis has slipped into third place. Nikki Haley is now ahead of DeSantis in the Republican primary. And she's not even a player at all. I know they think she is. But DeSantis is now in third place. So everything is falling into place. And next month is the Iowa caucus. Now, what's going to happen then, though, is if Nikki Haley and DeSantis, because either one of them could be in this distant second, you know, when it comes down to it. But when that happens, there's a good chance that Trump won't be ahead 49 points or however, because I got so many people in. If Haley or DeSantis come in second place closer than what they're polling, the Uniparty is going to declare that they've got momentum and that they really won and that they got what it takes to keep on going. That's like their desperate, hanging on the ledge, you know, last breath, last gasp of air hope is that Nikki Haley or DeSantis perform better in Iowa than they're polling, and then they can declare that a victory. But everything that's happening, everything you see is good news for Trump. In fact, Trump hasn't had a bad news day, and I can't remember how long. And when I saw him speak on Saturday night, it was late Saturday night, so you might have missed it, but you know, when he's talking about New Jersey and New York and campaigning in both, and New Jersey is in play, you know, he's not just saying stuff, okay? He's got internal polling that is scientific polling, not push polling, that's telling him that it is worth his very valuable time to spend time in places like New Jersey, which he would not normally do. And, you know, when he does that, when Trump thinks that New Jersey is in play and he campaigns there, as he says he's going to do, that means that the Democrats have to spend time, energy, effort, and money in areas that they typically consider safe. Right? And that's also a good thing. It splits the Democrat, because there's none of our firm red places where Trump has to fight. Our red is red, and he doesn't have to fight for it. He's got some battleground states he's got to work on, and there are some blue states that are in play. I think, I may have heard, it was late, so I might have misunderstood, but I thought I heard him say that he thinks New York might possibly be in play because things are so bad in New York. And I don't know if he was being sarcastic and serious about that, but I know he was being serious about New Jersey. And what we're going to find as the Iowa caucus happens and then he wins it, things are going to change dramatically, and they're going to change fast. And him performing so well, I promise you, does not mean that the Uniparty and the establishment and the deep state are just going to accept a Trump victory and give up. They're going to continue to undermine him and fight and do whatever they can do to mess things up. And, you know, that's just the way it's going to be for Trump forever. I mean, these are just things that we have to accept. But I really thinking hard here, when is the last time Trump had a bad... Now, they're going to try to turn this change in his testimony in New York as a negative today, because on Friday, his attorney said he was going to testify, and then Trump said yesterday that he's not going to testify, which is the right thing. Why should he? That judge made up his mind before any evidence was entered. Okay, this Judge Engoron is a crooked judge. He should be on trial. And you know what? That judge could very well find himself in a lot of hot water when this is over, because he is a crook. And what's going on in his courtroom are crimes. And he may seem all powerful now and all full of himself and arrogant, but once this trial is over, he's not going to have the protection of the media and the left that he has now. Now they want him because they want that verdict against Trump and the Trump Organization. It's a civil case. It's not a criminal case. But they want a court ruling against Trump. So this judge is getting a lot of passes from people that he should not be getting. But when it's all over and he's no use to anyone anymore, the truth of what went on between him and his crooked clerk and his wife and her social media presence are going to become very, very well known, and it's going to be bad news for him. Now, I want to tell you guys, it is, it's one of those times of year that, money can get a little tight around the holidays, and that's why you want to call Joe Thomas. Oh, man, we're having Joe Thomas in this. He's coming in tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Today? Oh, well, I'll find out during the break. But Joe Thomas is coming in. But, he can help you with that. Talk to him about annuities. It's absolutely amazing. With Joe Thomas and his plan with annuities, you're not risking money. The stock market to me is gambling. You might as well go to the casino and play the slots. It's gambling. Annuities is not. Your money's protected. You don't lose money. You're not risking your money, and you have guaranteed income. It's absolutely amazing. Joe Thomas has decades of work, experience behind him of great success. And I know many of you in this audience have taken advantage of his free offer for a free phone consultation and have been very happy with your discussions and the choices you've made after meeting with Joe Thomas. I'm going to give you his number. Now remember, he's offering free copies of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All, and free phone consultations. And remember, no matter where you are located, you can take advantage of the free phone consultation with financial advisor Joe Thomas. I'm going to give you the number. If you miss his number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999, or online at jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back.
Hard truth.
Yeah, I thought it was like Tuesday, next Tuesday, and then the Tuesday after Christmas.
Wednesday after.
Oh, okay.
And then the day after as well. So it was like tomorrow, the 20th and 28th.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow, 20th, 28th.
Okay. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk, people. This is the most pro-Trump MAGA place you will find anywhere. And, oh man, guys, order your Mighty MAGA Lion. There is time before Christmas. There's a link pinned in the live chat. There's a link in the video description. Or just go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours. These are available exclusively through me at MightyMagaLion.com. And you'll love it. The only Trump-inspired merchandise with the MAGA hat. And, of course, yes, this is the one I tell people. This is the one I took to Los Angeles. And this actual lion actually sat. Those paws right there sat on Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Hollywood, California. If you order more than one, you get a discount. They come in a great box for wrapping. Okay, and actually when we send them to you, my wife and I ship them all out. We put them in a nice box, perfect for wrapping and putting under the tree, and it comes with a nice paper wrapping around it too. Or when you order, you can put the address in for the recipient and have it delivered right to the recipient. Surprise them. But go to MightyMagaLion.com and order yours. Absolutely, Trump for life.
In West Palm Beach, takes this time to honor, recognize, and salute all men and women in union. Let's remember them this holiday season by sending out the military care package. Just go to your favorite search engine and type in military care package. Just point and click. It's that simple to bring
I told you I got a lot of stuff today, so I'm going through stuff quickly. But you're welcome to call in. If you're on hold, hang in there. You're welcome to call in about anything I bring up.
Get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you. We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, one and all. It is Monday. The weekend went by way too fast. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. You're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far, but I've only just begun. I've got so much to cover on the program this morning. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know what? You're right. Trump didn't need to try and testify in this case. He tried because he knows about real estate, and he's been in the business for a while. And we saw what happened with that. He tried to go into those those paragraphs, and they wouldn't let him do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a witness on the stand last week. Now, remember, there's no jury. The judge won't allow a jury. Okay, so the judge is the judge, jury, and decider. Okay, they had a witness last week, a real estate expert, who says that Trump undervalues Mar-a-Lago. That Mar-a-Lago is worth over $1 billion. And the judge said it's irrelevant to the case. I mean, so why should Trump waste his time with that jerk and his crooked clerk?
Yeah, why shouldn't he? I mean, the strategy should be take my lumps here and go up to the appellate court or the state Supreme Court and hope you get a better set of judges there, you know?
Yeah, and this Judge Engoron, by the way, thanks for the call, Mike. Judge Engoron is a criminal. He should be disbarred. He should be removed from the bench, and maybe he should be facing criminal charges. I mean, I'm very concerned about some of the things we've heard. I want to play this audio of Hunter from this interview we did. Let me play this. This is Hunter Biden.
They are trying to, in their most illegitimate way, but rational way, they're trying to destroy a presidency. And so it's not about me. In their most base way, what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill me, knowing that it will be a pain greater than my father could be able to handle.
Okay. Yeah, there's the voice of Hunter Biden, who talks like very weird. I guess it's all the drugs. You know, I've been telling you guys for a long time that the Biden family are criminally insane. And this is a textbook example of it. Hunter Biden, with everything he's done, everything he's facing, he's the victim. His father's the victim. They're trying to get to the father through him. He doesn't understand that anything he's done is wrong, is criminal. If he did, he wouldn't be doing interviews like this. You know, people do crimes and plead not guilty. They know they did it. The reason that I say that they're criminally insane is because he was born into a life of crime. He's like a made man in a mafia family. And he does not know another way. This is business. Bribes and favors, etc., etc. These people are insane. And listening to Hunter, because Hunter is close to his dad. He may love Bo more than Hunter, but they're close, and they talk. And I think what he says, Hunter Biden, in this interview, gives us an idea of how Joe's thinking. You've done nothing wrong. They're trying to get at me. They know if they can bring you down, I won't be able to handle it, and blah, 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 blah. So this interview, which I know is getting a lot of play, and I don't think people have thought about it that way, this is the first look inside the mind of Joe Biden we've got. Not so much Hunter, Joe Biden, because this is what he and Dad talk about. And both of them are pretty firm that they've done no wrong, done no crime, nothing illegal, nothing corrupt. This is just how the world works. This is business. This is how you make money. Everybody's doing it, right? And you've done nothing wrong, Hunter. They're just trying to get to me by hurting you because I love you so much, and they know it'll just tear me apart. You know, if Joe Biden had the love for Hunter that Hunter claims that his father has for him in that interview, it was a podcast interview he did, he wouldn't have him with every vice known to man except gambling. He wouldn't have him running around brokering all these corrupt multi-million-dollar deals for him. Because what Joe has done with his what Joe has done with his son is he's allowed his son to have unlimited resources available to him to further all of his vices, the drugs and the hookers and everything. And, you know, you go back to The Godfather. Remember in The Godfather, Don Corleone did not want Michael to be in the family business. That's why he sent him off to college and everything else, and then he got in the family business. He didn't want him to be in the family business. A good mob father does not want their son in the family business. But Joe is dirty. He's as dirty gets. And I would argue that as much as he thinks he loves his family, his kids, he loves himself. That's all he cares about is himself. He would not have his kids in a situation. I mean, what kind of father who loves their kids introduces their child to a life of crime and corruption? Who does that? You know, a lowlife. You know, that's who does it. I mean, this is the worst. I mean, this is worse than the Clintons. You know, the Clintons, they didn't have Chelsea out there laundering money. Now, if you hear Chelsea now, I mean, she's benefited from all their corruption. You know, she's got all this money. She's got a rich husband, Chelsea, but she wasn't involved in their corruption and their bribes and their kickbacks. They did that between themselves. You know, even Dick Cheney with his scummy daughter, the scummy daughter he has going around attacking Trump all the time. He didn't have her involved in his blood money, military industrial complex lies about WMDs. Now, maybe she talks about it now, but she wasn't involved in it at the time. I've never seen someone knowingly who's put their son through this at this level. You know, and but that entire family, it's really a tragedy. And what's going to happen, you know, because, you know, Joe Biden's 300 years old, when he's gone, these kids are going to tell everything. You know that, right? Both of them are going to tell everything. Both Hunter and his sister are both junkies. She's been in rehab more than him, and she's nasty. There's a documentary on the diary issue with James O'Keefe, and you hear her on the phone talking to Project Veritas. She is nasty. I was very surprised to see that. If you haven't seen it, go look it up after 9 o'clock. But when he's gone, Hunter and Ashley, one or both of them are going to tell everything about this guy. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be worse and dirtier and scummier than even we can imagine. And it's going to happen. But unfortunately, we're entering an election year in a couple weeks, and we can't wait for that. But when we find out the true sleaziness and corruption of Joe Biden from his kids when they do these tell-alls, I think it'll shock everyone. Everyone. I don't think there'll be a single person, even President Trump, who will not be shocked at the level of scumminess of this family. Now, after the top of the hour, I want to move on to some other things because there's just so much happening. And I know I'm going through stories really fast today. It's because there's been so much news break over the weekend that I'm going through it quickly because so much is happening. And a lot's going to start happening today. And it's very unusual. December is a slow month for news typically. That's why a lot of people take their vacations in December that do shows like this. They take 2 weeks off, 1 week off, some take the whole month off because it is historically a slow news period. This is probably the biggest Monday in December news day that I can remember. It's really that big. I mean, the news is just huge, and we've only just started. I just mentioned maybe two or three stories, and I've got so many. But we've got a Hitler Youth in this country that was sleeping, the sleeping Hitler Youth that we did not know that existed. I'm going to get into that when we get back. And this is the real Hitler Youth. I'm not kidding. But I first want to tell you guys about Lighthouse Medical Center and their neuropathy treatment. Oh, my goodness. You know, I was talking to John at Lighthouse Medical on Friday. You know, neuropathy, your doctors, like they told Steve, will tell you there is no treatment for neuropathy. That is not true. Lighthouse Medical Center has a treatment for neuropathy that works. It will rid you of your neuropathy symptoms. You will get your life back. And if you've got a loved one, a spouse, a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle that have neuropathy, you know what their life is like. That's not a life. It's a life of torture, pain, constant discomfort. It doesn't have to be that way. The neuropathy treatment at Lighthouse Medical Center works. Give them a call. Now, when you call them, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, because when you do that, you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Here's their number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. If you miss that number, go to their website, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right? And the number's there, 754-222-6642. Your neuropathy symptoms will make your life unlivable. It doesn't have to be that way. 754-222-6642 and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, we'll take our break for the top. When we get back, this sleeping Hitler Youth that we've had in this country, we're seeing it all over the place after these horrific events that have happened against Israel by the Palestinian terrorists. And I've got some audio, and I'm going to tell you, it's tough to listen to. I can't believe that this. I've got some audio of the modern-day Hitler Youth I'm going to play for you when we get back from the top of the hour break. You will not believe that this happened. This is recent. This is 2023, not 1933. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rope Studio. Introducing the Call the Ropes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Ropes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. We'll see a daytime high today of 72 degrees with partly cloudy skies and some winds out of the north. It's going to be very windy as we make our way throughout the start of this week. I'm WPDF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture.
Have you seen this story, seen the video of the anti-Semitic Hitler Youth at the coffee shop workers that wouldn't let a Jewish woman use the ladies' room because she's a Jew? It's crazy. I'm going to go through the story and then I'll read I'll play the audio after I go through the story. It's insanity. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy story. It's so disturbing. It's not California, it's the country. I mean, this anti-Semitism is going on all over the country. It seems to be worse in California than anywhere else because it's so liberal out there, but it's nationwide. But it is most definitely the Hitler Youth. Mm-hmm.
Alexa, what's the longest running radio show in the state of Florida?
The Steve Kane Show, which has been on the air since 1977, is the longest running radio show in Florida.
The Steve Kane Show, weekday mornings, right here on True Oldies.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
Yeah, you know, these college heads that are being forced out, so what? They plug in some other liberal jerk in their place. You know? We'll be back shortly. Coming back after this.
The air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with...
All right, we are back. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, and we know that because even Alexa says so. All right, since it's been over 2 months now since the Palestinian terrorist attacks on Israel, and we had a sleeping Hitler Youth in this country that I don't think people were aware of. And have you guys seen the story about the coffee shop workers in Oakland, California that would not let the Jewish woman use the ladies' room? I'm going to play you the audio of this. The lady was smart enough to record it. Now, the workers have been fired, but so what? They did it, and they're, you know, and when you hear this audio, it will shock you, and it's very disturbing. But let me go through the story first before I play the audio. All three California, and if this was like an isolated incident, it'd be different. There are 2 Jews that have been killed by these Palestinian terrorist supporters in California already, okay? All 3 California coffee shop workers who were caught on camera trying to kick out a Jewish woman after she complained about anti-Semitic graffiti in their restroom have been fired. Staff at Farley's East in Oakland blocked the woman as she tried to enter the bathroom to take a picture of the writing, which says, Zionism equals fascism, and your neutrality is enabling genocide. She was berated by the baristas, who repeatedly told her to leave the private property, like they own the joint, right? With one of the 3 employees telling her, I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own, but we got ahead. I don't know what that exactly means at the end. At first, the family-owned cafe apologized for the incident and said it has taken corrective measures against the staff. But now the owners have gone further and fired those involved. They said on Sunday, we fell short of the vision where community building and placemaking will create a safe space where anyone and everyone feels welcome. See, you know, and I don't want anybody to say, well, there it's California. This Hitler Youth we have going on is nationwide. Okay? It's happening everywhere in this country. What began as a civil this is the statement from the coffee shop. They fired these 3 people. Okay? What began as a civil dialogue between our staff and a Jewish customer escalated into a situation that was shocking and unacceptable. Events like these strike fear in the Jewish community, and perpetuate the rise of anti-Semitism in our community and around the world. These are the owners of the coffee shop. And it was written on the frame of the mirror in the ladies' room, Zionism equals fascism. Okay? The video, which I'm going to play the audio of, shows the Jewish woman against 3 employees, and she's an elderly woman who's standing up against these 20-something losers, and they're blocking her from entering the ladies' room. Let me play this. This is very disturbing. There's one bleep that I had to add from one of the foul-mouthed coffee shop baristas. Listen.
We've given you all your food.
I want to go into the
restroom.
Also, apparently, this is a private property. I want to go into the restroom.
I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own.
Boy, do you hear that guy? He sounds like he's playing for the other team there. He says, I know Israel likes taking people's private property, he says. This is what's happened in our public education system and our university system. This Hitler Youth brainwashing that's going on.
We've given you all your food.
I want to go into the restroom. Also, apparently, this is a private property. I want to go into the restroom.
I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own, but we gotta head.
You're not going to let me go into the restroom?
So I need you to leave.
I want you to go into the restroom.
I need you to leave, please.
I was patching here and I have a right to go into the restroom.
And here I'm asking you.
Yeah, but I need to go into the restroom.
I'm asking you to leave.
No, you need to let me go into the restroom.
I don't.
I'm a patron here and I need to go to the restroom.
I'm kindly asking you to leave.
No, I will not be going to leave.
I'm kindly asking you to leave.
Okay? No, I want to go into the restroom.
That's fine. You can use our restroom. We have a restroom next door.
No, I want to use this one. I should not be excluded and other people allowed. Saying no. I want to go into the restroom.
And what is standing here going to?
You're not going to let me into the restroom?
You can use our other restroom. We have another
No, I
restroom.
want to use this one.
They're not letting you. All you don't get is the people of it saying that Zionism is.
Why are you afraid? If you agree with that, why are you afraid that I will take a picture of
Oh,
it?
actually,
Okay.
great.
Why if you agree with that? Why? Why are you afraid? Then why are you not letting me in?
Because you're. This is what you This is inside in 1948, lady.
Wow, he says to her, the coffee guy says to the Jewish lady, history did not begin in 1948, lady.
Then why are you not letting me in?
Because you're. This is what you This is inside in 1948, lady.
Free Palestine. Now
For Palestine. It's always.
Thank you.
It's always. Yeah, great. We love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, there's always been anti-Israeli positions in the Democratic Party. Liberals have always sided with the enemies of Israel, but not like this. It was very mild, like two-state solution and things like this for the most part. And it's been a lot of years before, since there was a major conflict in Israel. And what's going on here with Israel right now, I don't know, how many years has it been since we had something at this level going on in Israel? It's been many years, 10 years, 15 years, however long. But since all of this ended, when we used to have the homicide bombers like every other day going on and things, since all of this ended until today, there's been a big change in this country. And these coffee shop owners are acting like the Hitler Youth. You know, when the Nazis came to power, you've seen the videos where you see the brown shirts attacking and beating Jews in the streets. And I know people have said, my goodness, how was this allowed? How did this happen? And you're a little removed from that because it happened so long ago in Germany, and it's old film footage where you can't even really make out the identities of the people, and it's in black and white, right? But this is taken on this lady's cell phone camera. You've got audio in high definition. You've got video in high definition. It's clear. You can see everything. And what you're seeing is what happened in 1933 Germany when they started when the Nazis came to power and they started attacking Jews in the street. It's happening here. So what's happened? You know, what is responsible for this mass wave of anti-Semitism in this country that is larger than anyone ever imagined? And it's not just California. It's everywhere in this country. We're seeing it all over the country. Look at these university presidents. And I know they're going to do, oh, well, they're resigning, they're being fired, these university ladies. They're going to plug in some other liberal jerks in their place, okay? So, and believe me, they're not going to be fans of Israel either, although they may not tell you. They'll just keep their anti-Semitic feelings secret, the new head of Harvard and MIT and Penn. But the only thing that I can figure that's happened is Obama. And, you know, what I see with all these wackadoodle school teachers that we see that are making TikTok videos about stupid things all the time, Barack Obama did a number of things. He did a massive okay to visas to people from the Muslim world to come here, and they've come here and they've made a lot of changes. That's why we have so many of these kind of people in the squad in Congress. And the Obama administration also did a massive drive recruiting their activists to be school teachers. And here we are more than a decade later, and we're seeing the results in millennials and Generation Z that they hate Jews like the Hitler Youth hated Jews. It's the same type of emotion, feelings, and actions. And you know what? They're escalating. And this story in the coffee shop, keep in mind, these are things that are happening and escalating after there have been high-profile incidents, okay? I mean, look at Saturday Night Live's getting some heat today because they trivialized these anti-Semites in that House hearing last week, right? It's happening everywhere in this country at levels that we've never seen. There has never been anti-Semitism in this country at this level. It's been around, but not at this level. Okay, and before, when there was anti-Semitism, most of the anti-Semitism in this country, it always came from the left, by the way. Anti-Semitism, it came from groups like the Klan, Democrat organizations like the Ku Klux Klan, but it was isolated. This is more mainstream anti-Semitism than this country has ever seen. And you know what's crazy about this incident? Okay, take the Jewish factor out of this incident. These coffee shop workers are all in their mid-20s. This lady that they're dealing with is an old lady. One of it's two girls and a guy, the coffee shop workers. They're in their mid-20s, again, and by the way, they're all three wearing masks, against an old lady. Who was in the coffee shop to say, hey, you're bashing an old lady? Taking the whole Jewish anti-Semitic thing out of it, who's standing up for a woman, an old lady, who is being threatened and harassed by three very large, I must say, compared to her, mid-20-something kids in a coffee shop? No one stood up to defend the rights of the lady. Why? Because people are afraid of the Hitler Youth. The Hitler Youth will kick your face in. Okay, they're scary. People in this coffee shop, many of them may have agreed, I don't know, but they're afraid to stand up. And we're seeing this time and time again. But they want to put this narrative out there that MAGA are the hate mongers. MAGA is a hate group. Looks like all this anti-Semitism is coming directly from the Democrats. All right, we'll take our first break of this hour and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-K1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Cool Springs for all of my lab work.
It was two girls and a guy. Someone said, why would she record? She was recording because she wanted to get video and photographs of what was written in the bathroom so she could get it out there.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Corey Hennessy, DC, and 8 Healthcare. Dr. Hennessy, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms of neuropathy are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in the hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is treatable, and we've seen some great results.
Call 954-633-7003 today to schedule your nerve damage screening. This screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our treatment program. Don't wait till your symptoms are so severe that there's nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers.
We're coming back shortly.
Call 954-633-7003. First 25 calls will receive nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 954-633-7003.
Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Garrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldie.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Remember, this Sunday, come meet me and Steve Kane at Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs, and we'll be there at 2 o'clock, and you are all invited. Wings Plus is located about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. You can't miss it. This Sunday at 2. And if you're coming from down south in Miami, South Broward, or you're coming from the Treasure Coast or the Palm Beaches, you can take either I-95 or the Turnpike, or I-75 or the Sawgrass to Sample Road. But if you take 95 or the Turnpike to Sample Road, you get off at Sample Road and you head east about a mile. I messed it up. You get off at Sample Road and head west, and you go about a mile west of University Drive, and you'll see Wings Plus on the south side of the street. If you take I-75, the Sawgrass Expressway, you can get off at Sample Road, and you will head east, and then it's still on the south side. Okay, so it's this Sunday at 2. This is our first appearance in, I don't know, over a year, maybe a year and a half outside of our cruise. So you never know when you'll get to see us again. So I look forward to seeing you all. Wings Plus, Sunday at 2, Steve Kane and me. All right, let's go. Back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay.
Well, I just heard you ask a question, why all of a sudden the situation against Jews, and then I heard your answer was Obama. Wow, I hadn't called in a while, and that really just got to me. I'm going to say why I feel all this situation against Jews, because, see, I don't believe in doing any of this, but the reason why people feel so strong against Jews at this present time is because what we're seeing on TV, it has nothing to do with Obama. I am seeing the Jews murdering and killing like it doesn't mean anything. They're acting like the way they have went through Palestine and killed all them people and killing all them babies.
Okay, I listen here. No. We're not talking about well, you're wrong about everything you're talking about in Israel. I'm talking about what's going on in this country. We had let me finish my sentence, Jay. 3 young people, 2 girls and a guy. They're both in their mid-20s. They're assaulting an elderly lady. Why are people not standing up against these Hitler youth in defense of the abuse of an elderly woman in a coffee shop? What's happened to this country?
Well, I have no reason to think I would never approve any young people going out.
That's what happened. You heard me play the audio. You heard me play and what I hear from you is justifying those Hitler youth that were attacking the lady.
No. See how you twist things? I said the reason that these people are doing what they're doing is because they're watching what's on TV.
Which is anti-Semitic propaganda, is what you're telling me. So you're justifying it. Oh yeah, well they're just doing this because what they're seeing on TV. I don't care what they're seeing on TV. It does not justify the abuse of an old lady.
It doesn't justify what Hamas did to the Jews, and it does.
What does what's going on between Israel and Hamas have to do with an old lady at a coffee shop in California?
Because they're watching the murders over and...
Oh, okay. So Jews worldwide are responsible for what Israel does. Is that what you're telling me? That all Jews be on alert because those who disagree with how Israel is handling its defense right now, you as a Jew, no matter where you are, you're responsible for it and should be held accountable?
No, I didn't say that. I said they're watching what's happening and they're responding to it.
That's not response. That's bigotry. That's bigotry, okay? That's like someone watching blacks on television commit crime and then go out and harass you or other blacks out in coffee shops because you're black and some crimes they saw happening were done by black people. Don't you understand how sick you are?
You're sick as it was Obama did it.
Oh, well, Obama brought a mass wave of Muslims into this country that have infiltrated our education system. And
Oh, it's okay to go after the Muslims, but don't go after the Jews.
No, I didn't say to go after anyone.
Yes, you did.
But see, this is the thing. This is how the Holocaust happened in Europe. Don't you understand? What you and your bigotry are saying is that anyone who has Jewish DNA, just because they have DNA that's Jewish, they are to be held accountable for anything that Israel does.
You just said go after the Muslims.
That's not what I said. All right, I'm not going to sit here and be misquoted like that. No, that's what you said. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Keith Evans. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Keith. Long time no hear.
Listen, that guy Jay, number one, and what have you ever heard me talk like this? But he's an idiot. My son is one of those fighters in Gaza right now, putting his life on the line for Christians, Jews, and for Muslims. And he's fighting right now in Gaza. My son is battling, okay? So he's calling murdering. He doesn't know anything. And just like when I debated Henry years ago with you and Steve Kane, I'm coming down to Florida in February. Bring that guy Jay on. I will make him look like a fool. Okay, and my daughter's also a lawyer in the Israeli army, and I'm telling you, there is no army in the world that has the morals of the Israeli Defense Force. Okay, no army in the world. Okay, calling them murderers. He doesn't even know a killing. He doesn't even know what the heck he's even talking about. And Obama funneled so much money to the Palestinians that helped build that tunnel system, their weapons system, and besides, they're all part of a huge drug cartel through Afghanistan, through Lebanon, to South America. Most people don't even understand this, okay? But it's just unbelievable. But the reason why I really called to say, I can talk like this since my son is fighting in Gaza, right? I can say this. It's not anti-Semitic, number one, to go up to George Soros. It's not anti-Semitic to go up to Bernie Sanders. These people are human garbage. And I'm telling you, every left-wing Jew out there in South Florida or all over the country who's listening, you guys better wake up. And this is a Jewish guy with both of them. I got 2 kids, and both of them in the Israeli army right now at the same time. So I can talk like this. The left-wing Jews, it's not the Democrat Party of John F. Kennedy. It's not the Democrat Democrat Party of even Bill Clinton anymore. This is a left-wing, crazy, Marxist, insane party. And those left-wing Jews, you guys got to wake up. You really got to wake up. The anti-Semitism, I'm going to tell you exactly how it all started. It started through the Justice for Palestine through the universities. They infiltrated the university. This is how it started years ago. And I'm telling everyone about this. They've infiltrated the university systems, the professors. They're brainwashing our youth. Our youth, they just showed the poll, by the way. 1 out of 5, I don't know if you talked about this today, but 1 out of 5 kids from 18, I think, to age 29, believe the Holocaust was a myth.
That's right, yeah. Well, you know, there's this story. You know, we have 2 Jews that have been murdered. One, a rabbi in California, the one guy at the demonstration murdered by a Palestinian. And this incident at the coffee shop, this is what it's 2023. This is what happened in 1933 in Germany. We have this Hitler Youth in this country. We're 2 or 3 generations into this brainwashing, and they think it is perfectly acceptable to hold someone that has Jewish DNA accountable for anything that happens in Israel. That is, this is Nazism that's going on in this country, like I never thought we would see. It's frightening to me.
On my street where I live, kill all they spray painted the wall in our community, right on my street. Kill all the Jews.
Oh my God.
Jews must die.
Oh my goodness.
My street. This is in Las Vegas. It's unbelievable what's going on right now. But to all the left-wing Democrat Jews out there, okay, to all you guys, listen, with the Elon Musk thing, what these people are really saying is, how could some Jews be so stupid to support things that are good? You need to take a deep look in the mirror to all the super liberal left-wing Jews. Look in the mirror, look at yourself, okay, and say, how am I complicit in this? Did I cause problems for my own people? Because it's true. It's absolutely true. And I'll tell you, a lot of peace for all the kind of types of Jews are really starting to become center and moving to the right. I learned a long time ago.
Well, listen, Keith, we're very late for the break, but don't be a stranger. I hope to hear from you again. All right, take care. He had both of his children, son and daughter, are in the Israeli army. His son is fighting in Gaza as we speak. I'm Brian. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
We deleting all this stuff for later when what's his name comes in. I saw you deleting like stuff for later.
There was one thing because there's a lot of times where it's just an empty spot, so I just delete it and put something in.
Oh.
Well, I'm trying to put the any lab test in.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about the music.
Yeah, the music. The music.
Fixing logs.
Oh. I saw you go through and delete so much of the music. I was like, what's going on? That was a lot.
Yeah, it's like we have to, like, you know how we hit the breaks here at certain times?
Yeah.
Like, there's certain times they want me to make sure we hit the break, the music lined up, so I have to, like, delete some things, put a song in. It's fun.
It's amazing how timed those are, though.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
I feel bad because sometimes I have to delete Scott Shannon's voice tracks. And when I met him last week, he was...
Oh, he noticed?
Yeah, well, because it's funny because I was asking Mike, I was like, I know he probably sees that a lot of his stuff's deleted. He's like, I thought I put a track there. It's like, he's not going to be like, hey, you're the ones that's deleting anything. He's like, no, he'll be cool with this. So when I deleted that that the stuff slogs that day, he was like, why is, and then Mike explained it to him, he's like, oh, we have to hit certain breaks, and sometimes you go a little too over, so we have to...
And the spots are not all 30s or 60s.
Exactly. So we at least have to...
Oh, there's an extra spot, yeah.
They always, a lot of the times, the last hour ends like 2 minutes early, so I just do it for the next hour. It's like, all right, so we're supposed to hit at 13, and it's 1:15, but last hour we stopped at 12.
So when he was here last Monday, were you running the board and hitting everything, or was he doing it?
I was teaching him, technically, because I only touched the board a few times, but like most of the time I was pointing out what he needed to do.
No.
Because it was funny because he was saying, he's like, because he was just like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out the system. He's like, yeah, no problem, and it was cool. It was fun learning from him. Well, not learning from him, but like, seeing how he does everything there, but like also teaching.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's got their own way.
Exactly. This reminded me of like Birdman as well. You know, they both were kind of the same way.
Yeah.
They wanted to do it. It's like, okay, it's like something I've done before.
Yep. Oh yeah, Keith Nevins. He's an old friend of ours. I can't believe his kids are in the Army. I remember when they were like little babies. I'll update people on who he is when we get back. Then I'm gonna go back to the phones. We'll be back shortly. This is our bottom of the hour break. We're behind because I went long on that last segment. We're back after this.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Just for those of you that are longtime Steve Kane listeners, you're familiar with our last caller, Keith Nevins. Keith Nevins, his son is in Gaza right now, fighting for Israel. His daughter's in the army as well. I didn't remember if he said she's in Gaza, but she's in the army in Israel. Keith Nevins, if you guys remember, he's the son of Barry Nevins, who was a longtime sponsor of the Steve Kane Show, and Barry Nevins passed away. When you're the longest running radio show, the shows outlive many of our sponsors. They sometimes die. But Keith Nevins was a regular when he lived in Boca on the show. And I remember we had him in here with this Palestinian supporter, and it was so heated. He had him in studio with a Palestinian supporter during an incident that was going on in Israel. We had to have an armed security guard in the studio sitting between the two of them. It was so heated. I'm not kidding. It was an armed security guard he had a gun, and he was one of the biggest men the only man I saw that was bigger than that security guard. I met Muhammad Ali once at the airport, and this guy was like about the size of Muhammad Ali. I've never seen someone that big before, and he had a gun. And even then, he had a hard time with Keith and our Palestinian guy. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John Okeechobee.
Hey, John.
First of all, it surprises me how many ignorant blacks have adopted the Ku Klux Klan attitude towards Jews.
Well, it's liberals in general. In the coffee shop, it was two girls and a guy, and the guy was gay. And he doesn't understand, either to those two girls, that if they were in Gaza, he'd be done. They hate gays as much as they hate Jews, the terrorists.
What kills me, Jews are on the side that got the Palestinians in America. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. They better be glad I'm not the commanding general of IDF. I clean that.
Well, I was hearing this morning in the news before I came in that there's been mass surrenders of Palestinian terrorists to the Israelis. Mass surrenders. Yeah. And what we're going to find, and some reporting's been coming out on this, that music festival, that those terrorists were all hopped up on drugs. There's been a variety of drugs I've heard mentioned, and they used, and I'm telling you what we're going to find out. We're going to find that they used the lure of hot girls at the music festival to rape, to get them to do it. And that's why that was a particular target. All right, John, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Good morning. Good morning to you. I want to educate the idiot that calls from Jersey all the time. And first of all, government is in Palestine. They don't have a government. They're running the country. They're not a recognized freaking government. What kind of so-called organization, since it's not a government, use their civilians as shields rather than protect their civilians?
Mm-hmm.
They're underground like rats while the civilians are getting bombed out, and that's what they do. They pop up, they shoot, they jump back in the hole, and let their civilians take the casualties. Then they post it on TV for idiots like this guy in Jersey to see it and say the Jews are killing the Palestinians.
That's right.
The Jews are going after terrorists that are hiding behind them. So if anyone's to blame, it's the...
But Richie, we've got a big problem in this country. I'm calling them the Hitler Youth. I mean, we have this Hitler Youth. It's not just these university presidents, these coffee shop kids. This is frightening, very frightening.
Well, I don't think Israel is fighting the war wrongly. I think they're fighting the war correctly. They have to protect their soldiers. Okay.
Well, they're being very relaxed. I mean, they could have gone in and wiped everybody out, and they've been very slow. Yeah.
They went on them, and they didn't. They went on them, and the fact of the matter is, this guy from Jersey, he really doesn't know what's going on. As for Obama, let's talk about him. Okay. The fact is, if you were to ask any of these Palestinian protesters, probably this idiot up in Jersey, I'm calling you an idiot, by the way, so I hope you hear it well. If you were to ask them the big question, what part of Palestine is Israel occupying? And you know what the answer would be? The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
because they want no Jews there.
Correct.
Give me a country over there that has Jews. None. They're all, and by the way, none of the other people want them there either because they're.
Well, and what's going on in this country, which is what I'm trying to focus in on, there's been a big shift. And it's all Obama. It's all Obama.
Brian, the reason is Obama thought that the United States wasn't legitimate.
Correct.
We were occupiers. We were being occupied.
Colonizers.
He went over to Europe and he apologized. That was that big apology tour. So the people in this country, the leftists and the Obamas and the Muslims don't believe that the United States is. You hear it all the time. This is why they were tearing statues down of white historical figures in this country, because they don't like the fact that we were settled by white men in this country. They hate us, and the fact of the matter is we're occupiers too. That's why you have the anti-Semitism.
Well, Obama grew up in Indonesia, which has the largest Muslim population in the world, larger than Saudi Arabia and any of the Middle Eastern countries. And that's when his worldview was shaped. When he was in college, he traveled listen to this, guys, I don't know this. He went to Pakistan and met with the Prime Minister of Pakistan when he was in college, his first 4 years. This guy's very connected to top Muslim people. And you look at this big shift we have with this Hitler Youth that I've been talking about this morning, that is from sea to shining sea in this country. The only thing I can connect it to is Barack Obama. Yeah, and Barack Obama. Correct.
One other thing, the big lie of the media. They keep on saying that Trump wanted a Muslim ban, which was the biggest lie of all. Trump wanted a Muslim ban on countries that were hostile to the United States. Not all Muslims were banned at that particular.
That's right.
They come in from other countries and be Muslim.
All right, Richie, I gotta run. I'm behind on our break because I went long at the bottom. Don't forget, Sunday at 2, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Come meet Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig. Wings Plus in Coral Springs is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. You can take I-95 or the Turnpike to Sample Road, head west past University to find it. You can take I-75, the Sawgrass Expressway, get off on Sample, and head east and find it. Remember, Wings Plus, it's Sunday, 2 p.m., is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you don't trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Jane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Corey Hennessy, DC, and 8 Healthcare. Dr. Hennessy, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms of neuropathy are numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in the hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is treatable, and we've seen some great results.
Call 954-633-7003 today to schedule your nerve damage screening. This screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe that there's nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputation. Call 954-633-7003. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 954-633-7003.
Hello, this is Lincoln Friendly Tire. Been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Tony. I'm on a plantation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, one of the guys previously said something about black people being racist, have a KKK attitude against Jews. And listen, that they can't make a blanket statement like that because not all black, I'm black, and not all black people have bad opinions about Jews. That's not true at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you. We had a vocal couple of callers on the program of the past couple of weeks who were black, who were anti-Semitic, and but without a doubt, there is a big wave of anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli sentiment among Democrats in this country, and I think that's out there. So, what are your thoughts on what we're seeing in the Middle East?
I just think it's bad on both. It's bad for both sides. I mean, it's bad for Israel. Of course, Israel needs to protect itself and its citizens. If some force comes in there and kidnaps people or starts killing people and things like that, it has the right to defend itself. But at the same time, if the reports that they say on the news are correct, we got to be careful with going into places. I know they're saying that a lot of the citizens the Hamas is using citizens as like,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a difficult situation for the Israeli force.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's a tough situation, I just feel bad for, really I feel bad for both sides because if you're not part of Hamas and you're just a regular Palestinian and you're in the crossfire, I feel bad for those people, So on that.
Well, listen. What happened in Israel is terrible, but immediately, and I support Israel, but in this country, we're seeing anti-Semitism like we've never seen. 2 Jews have been murdered in California. There was an elderly man who was murdered by a Palestinian, and there was a lady who was murdered. They just picked somebody up in that murder that I've not seen identified yet, but I promise you that person is a pro-Palestinian terrorist person that murdered the Jewish lady in California. We had these college professors on TV last week that would not condemn genocide. Earlier in the show, I was playing this thing from the coffee shop, and there's an anger towards Jews in this country that we've never seen. In fact, it's more widespread than even anti-black racism was during the Civil Rights Movement, because that was mostly based in the southern United States. This wave of anti-Semitism we're seeing is in every state in the Union. We've never seen hate, bigotry like this in this country so widespread. I haven't.
Right. Yeah. I think things, incidents like this with this war blowing up in Israel, whatever, it gets people really heated. If you were already a pro Hamas person,
Hamas is, Hamas is, it's like saying if you're a pro-Al-Qaeda person, a pro-ISIS person, it's a terrorist organization. Who is pro a terrorist organization? There are some issues, I know people don't like to accept this, there are some issues there are not two sides to. There were some issues that like when America was attacked by Al-Qaeda, there was not, obviously Al-Qaeda thought they were in the right and they have allies around the world, but in this country, there was no two sides to that issue. Al-Qaeda was bad. What they did was evil, and they had to go. And the same goes for Hamas. There are not two sides to the issue.
Right. I got you.
All right. But let me talk to you about what you said though about the caller. Okay. See, most blacks are Democrats in this country. They're liberal, and they take a liberal viewpoint. So when people have political conversations or talk about issues in the news with blacks, they're typically going to get a liberal viewpoint. And,
Can I stop for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
That may have been the case maybe a year or two ago, but you'd be surprised. In the black community, we're not really thinking like that anymore.
Well, tell me about it. What does that mean? Tell me about that. You mean Trump?
Yeah, what's happening in the black community? A lot of people are saying, a lot of black people were so pro-democratic for so many pro-democratic for so many years, and haven't got crap to show for it.
Yeah.
So they're like, wait a minute, maybe we need to look at the other side because we're getting short-handed. We're getting ripped off. Dealing with these folks for the Democrats, so maybe we need to look at Trump. Maybe we need to look at the Republicans. So there's a shift.
So are you gonna vote for Donald Trump?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, who did you vote for in the last election?
I'm gonna be honest. I voted for Biden, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
regret it.
Why'd you vote for Biden?
I voted for Biden because there were a few things I was kind of. He had a few points that I was kind of, and one of them was like the student loan thing and stuff. And
yeah, you want your student loan forgiven?
Well, yeah, because I'm one of these people that's been paying the student loan for like almost 20 years.
You went to college? What kind of degree? You have a 4-year degree?
Yes, I got a degree in design.
Okay, now I've got a college degree, and I haven't been paying it back for 20 years. Why do you think that is?
Why is that?
I worked my way through school.
Okay.
And sometimes I took one class. Sometimes I skipped a semester and took no classes. You know what I mean? So I mean, why not forgive mortgages?
Okay.
I mean, what's the hold on? What's the difference? Let me ask you. I want to hear your thought on it. What's the difference in your mind between forgiving a student loan or forgiving a mortgage on a home?
No, you're right.
There's no difference at all. Yeah, there's no difference at all. What about car loans? Can we get our car loans forgiven? Why not our car loans?
I guess what you're saying. You're saying, a lot of stuff is just don't think it should be free. Okay, I agree with that. Like I said, I have been paying my loans for, how many years.
Yeah.
If I need to pay them, that's fine. But I just want to leave and say that, I just think that people need to be careful when they blanket black people as a monolith.
Yeah.
Say, all black people feel this way about Jews. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Use their own connection and say, my friends are well. But in real life, I have a lot of associates who are Jews, and we're very good, we get along very well.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, welcome to the program, and vote Trump. All right, appreciate the call. I'm not going to give the guy too hard of a time because he's opened the voting for Trump. So I mean, it's first time calling. I'm not going to give him the treatment, but I think the point was made. Now, I want to tell you, if you are in pain, stop suffering. Go see Dr. Appleton. Oh man, it's holiday time. You want to go through the holiday season feeling good and pain free. And Dr. Appleton can make that a reality. He's rid me of pain 5 times. His laser away pain treatment works. There are no injections, no surgery, no downtime, and no drugs. Pain medication just masks the pain. And that pain you have is being caused by something. And when you mask the pain, you're doing things with that part of the body that you probably shouldn't be doing. You can actually make it worse. Plus, you don't want to get hooked. You don't want to be a junkie, do you? No. Go see Dr. Appleton. His laser wave pain treatment works on so many different types of pain. Rotary tears, spinal stenosis, sciatica, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, tinnitus, knee pain, neck pain, back pain, post-surgical swelling, so many other pains too. If you're suffering, don't. Call Dr. Appleton. His number, 954-973-0710. No appointment is necessary, and walk-ins are welcome if you mention you heard about him on the radio. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Patty from New Jersey.
Hey, all right, Patty. What's up?
So, my biggest thing is that after seeing what I saw, Elise Stefanik with the presidents of the Ivy League schools, a lot of this, there's two things that are leading to this, and it is indoctrination in our schools, and these colleges are radicalizing kids.
Yeah.
It's boiling down to that, and Elise Stefanik hit the nail on the head. I think it was last night when I saw her on a interview, that they need to start defunding them. They've got to start taking money away from them because the Chinese have infiltrated, the Muslims have infiltrated, and they're bringing their ideologies into these schools, and they're rubbing off on the next generation country. And, you know what? A lot of this started with Obama. I don't care what Jay says. Obama, it was the cracking point of this country. And, I had high hopes when he was elected that
Not me. I didn't.
I had high hopes that we were going to have a black president who was going to do the right thing. And the first month in, I started to just say, you know what? Something doesn't feel right with this guy. Where did he come from? I didn't vote for him because I didn't vote that year. But, it's just
Yeah.
taking money away.
Listen, I'm up against the top of the hour break, but appreciate the call and glad you woke up about Obama.
Yeah,
That'd have been terrible. All right, take care. Have a great day. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Our number 888-GO-KANE1. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3.
All right, welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you've missed a lot. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. Listen to this story, and then I'm going to suggest something to you, and you let me know if I'm nuts. Okay? This is in the post-millennial, and for those that don't know, the post-millennial is a conservative online publication out of Canada. It's very good. Listen to this story, and then I'm going to tell you my thought on this that just immediately popped into my brain. On Thursday, I'm going to mispronounce the first name here. I'm sorry, it's a foreign name. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Chinese name. On Thursday, 27-year-old Jie-Feng Chen was arrested in Arizona after he allegedly spray-painted swastikas on Hanukkah decorations and the wall outside of the Shabbat of Kalamazoo in Michigan. The Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety said that the FBI worked in coordination with other law enforcement agencies in Arizona to locate and ultimately arrest the Chinese national. He was also booked on an unrelated charge on November 27th. He's now in federal custody. In a statement to WWMT, police said the investigation into the incidents that occurred in Kalamazoo is ongoing. Once complete, the investigation will be forwarded to appropriate authorities seeking charges. Officers said they don't know what his motivation was in the act, but that he is also accused of spray painting other racist graffiti around Kalamazoo Valley Community College's Arcadia Commons campus. He was difficult to identify because he had no real ties to Kalamazoo, said the police chief. He's only been there for about a month, and then he's been all over the country. The vandalism took place on the night of November 17th. The community immediately worked together to clean it up. Okay, so let me go back to the top of the story. It says he's a Chinese national. He's 27. He was arrested in Arizona after spray painting swastikas on Hanukkah decorations on the wall outside of a Shabbat in Kalamazoo, Michigan. He's not an American of Chinese descent. They said he's a Chinese national. Now, in the last week, we've seen all these Chinese young men in their mid-20s, which would be 27-ish, arrested at the southern border with military haircuts. Remember the one group, a couple dozen that had the smart luggage and all that? And I was telling you at the end of last week, there was a guy in Colombia, a YouTuber in Colombia, who went to stay in this hotel, and it was a Chinese spy hotel where Chinese nationals on their way to America, they're coming across with the illegals, Hispanics, are stopping at this hotel to get prepared to make the jump into the United States from Colombia. This attack on the Shabbat of Kalamazoo in Michigan, do you think this is a CCP event? Do you think this is a Chinese official intelligence attack on this country? Are we in these Chinese that are coming here, we have thought we're spies, they're military, what are they doing? Right? President Trump said last weekend in Iowa that it's like they're sending an army over here. And it's very unusual what's going on. Is China, and they said, by the way, that there was racist graffiti other than this, but it didn't say in the story what it was. Let me see. No, it doesn't say what it was, just the anti-Semitic, the swastikas on the Shabbat in Kalamazoo. When they say racist, I'm assuming that means like either anti-black or anti-illegal immigrant or something. I could be wrong. Could be like, honky stuff, but I doubt it. Is this guy part of a Chinese government intelligence agency operation in this country to cause division? And this is how it's done. In the past when they've talked about Russia being involved with social media, there's a lot of things, a lot of this has been policed and taken care of, but I'm sure a lot of it is still there. Social media over the past few years has been filled with foreign intelligence agencies trying to cause political division in this country. And I'm here to tell you that I'm very curious now how much of this anti-Semitism that's going on, these attacks in this country, is a coordinated effort from the Chinese government causing division in this country. And this one here, I should not be reading about this in a Canadian news publication. People in the mainstream media, I'm not saying this hasn't been covered in the national news, but what I've not seen suggested by anyone, I haven't seen it, by the way, outside of the post-millennial. I'm sure it's been in other sources, I just haven't seen it. But I haven't seen anything speculating on whether or not this was an officially sanctioned operation from the Chinese government. Am I crazy? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree that this, I would say there's an 85 to 90% chance that this is a Chinese spy operation thing that happened here. He's here less than a month, and all of a sudden he's in, who goes to Michigan this time of year? And then he's in Arizona after he did spray the swastika? Something stinks about that. Our number's toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Judy Kane from Jersey.
Hey, what's up, Judy?
I wanted to add another one to the list of indoctrinated people, and that's besides the colleges, the high schools, the grade schools, the penal system, because you have a lot of Islamic conversions going on there.
Yeah, but these kids in the coffee shop, they weren't incarcerated. You know what I mean? They weren't in prison.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of people are going to be against it because they are converted to Islam through the penal system.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Another way of controlling the population, because when they get out, they're looking for that to be in that.
Well, you're talking about like I know what you're talking about. You're talking about black Muslims, Nation of Islam, and there's a lot of that goes on in prison. That and that's not good either. But that's not the problem we're facing right now. There's been a
I'm just saying that that's something that is adding to the population of people that are going to be against the Jewish people.
Yeah. All right. Hey. All right. I appreciate. Yeah.
Program. Take care.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah. So getting back to this, I mean, think of this is the story with the Chinese national with the swastikas in Michigan that they arrested in Arizona. Police officers say they don't know what his motivation was. They said he's accused of spray painting other racist graffiti around Kalamazoo Valley Community College's Arcadia Commons campus, but they don't tell us what that was. Okay? And then they interview a rabbi who says, you know, we're going to stand up to this, but there's no speculation on this guy's motivation. And, you know, this is how, you got to understand, you know, this is very upper level psych ops going on in this country. This country is more diverse than any other country in the world. And what our enemies have often done is they take that diversity and they try to use it against us. Okay? And you've seen this happen with the flying imams. I think this is part of that. You see this happen all the time. It's the Democrat Party strategy. But what I want to know is this a Chinese sanctioned government operation? I would say almost positively yes. That doesn't mean they're going to be able to prove it. And there's no information in the story. And I've been searching for other stories with this guy's name, and I can find none out of the post-millennial. So if anybody has this story anywhere else, let me know. We're going to take our first break of the hour and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach. Hey, Mike. Let me say something. I went to Jupiter Joe's. He spent an hour and 20 minutes with me in front of his desk going over all of my assets and advising me. I'll tell you, that man is very thorough, and he really knows what he's talking about. He has given me some really great advice that I hadn't considered prior to that meeting, and I think that's going to help my life up very, very much.
Call Joe Thomas for your free phone consultation and a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. Online, JupiterJoe.com.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you're looking for the best seafood in town, try Chowderheads. You'll love their
Judy Collins is coming to the Broward Center January 16th. Judy has inspired audiences with her luminescent presence and her iconic 55-album body of work. Don't miss a night with Judy Collins at the Broward Center. Get tickets now at browardcenter.org.
Mm-hmm.
95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FL.
All right, welcome back, one and all. 18 minutes after the hour. It is Monday. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Oh, don't forget, do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow.com. Free shipping for just 4 more days on anything you purchase at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. The free shipping ends December 15th. And it's free shipping on anything that you order, no matter how big or small, at MyPillow.com. And if it's one of the many specials they have there, you get to take advantage of the special, too. So you get the special, you get that discount, plus free shipping. And, my daughter wanted a new bed. We got her a new bed and mattress, and we used that promo code Kane, had it shipped directly to her in California, free shipping. Pretty good deal, huh? But the free shipping ends on December 15th. So you got to take advantage of it now. It's time to load up. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, and get free shipping on all items. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. This is really a disturbing story. An illegal alien has been arrested for the murder of a 16-year-old Texas high school cheerleader, Elizabeth Medina. I'm going to read through the details of this story, but this is what I was talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene about on the show a couple weeks ago. These are all crimes that should not be happening. This 16-year-old girl, if Biden was doing his job at the southern border, this 16-year-old girl would be cheering still, not dead. She's dead because Biden and the Democrats have opened up our border. Into the story here. This is in the Gateway Pundit. An illegal alien was arrested for the murder of a 16-year-old Texas high school cheerleader. Her murdered body was discovered in a bathtub by her mother on Tuesday. My goodness. Medina's mother, Jacqueline, told KTRK-TV that she got worried after her daughter never showed up to the lighted Christmas parade with her cheerleading squad. Oh, my Lord. Edna police on Sunday announced they arrested Rafael Govea Romero, an illegal alien, for the murder of 16-year-old Elizabeth Medina. He was arrested in Texas, 75 miles from where the murder occurred. It's unclear where he's from or where he illegally entered the United States or when. On Saturday, December 9th, with the help of the community, friends, and family, Edna police, in conjunction with the Texas Rangers, apprehended him. They were able to locate, they say, an undocumented male suspect. Look, they've got to be politically correct, even with a murderer. Identified as Rafael Govea Romero in the city of Schulenburg, Texas. Edna Police Department and Texas Rangers immediately traveled, where he was placed under arrest for capital murder. I mean, this is, extra sick. I mean, it's bad enough when a child, a 16-year-old child like this, is murdered. But when the crime is preventable, it's just like that girl in Kansas. I remember a couple years ago, there was the missing girl. She was jogging and she went missing in Kansas. And I was shocked that the media actually stopped all their Trump bashing and sent reporters to Kansas to cover the story and the search for the missing girl. A couple days go by, they had lots of coverage, all the national media were there, and shock, it was an illegal. Probably there because of the farm work in Kansas. As soon as that happened, the media packed up, went back to New York, went back to Washington, and started their Trump bashing. And the case got very little publicity. This one, all of these cases, all of these crimes are crimes that would not happen if Biden was doing his job. This guy's a young guy. Chances are he's come in since Biden. I mean, look, we've got two stories that I've shared in the last couple segments, both of them a direct result of Biden's policies. You know, if you put together, this is a crazy thing, but I don't even know if it's possible because there's so much. But if you put together the number of deaths in this country and around the world because of Joe Biden, he would be, and you put it that way, he would be one of the most evil world leaders ever. Certainly one of the most evil American presidents. Ukraine, that's because of him. What happened in Israel is because of him. This 16-year-old cheerleader murdered by this illegal, that's because of Joe Biden. The fentanyl ODs, all this stuff. And for the life of me, those of you out there that are Democrats, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What is it about this guy, this party, this open border, all this business that has you supporting them? And I would love someone to tell me how these crimes are not permitted. When I had Marjorie Taylor Greene on, I saw her in a House hearing and I brought it up to her. Two of her constituents were killed in a traffic accident from where it was the fault of an illegal who was driving another vehicle. And it was believed at the time, I don't know what the update has been, that he was involved in smuggling for the cartels in Georgia. And he killed two of Marjorie Taylor Greene's constituents. And she said what I said. She said this to the Homeland Security Secretary in a House hearing. These are murders, these are deaths, these are crimes that are preventable if you just have our border shut down like every other country does in the world. And the Democrats that are running this country, that doesn't even compute to them. They think something's wrong with her. I promise you, this guy here has entered the country since Biden has been in office and the border has been open. How many other people have been victimized or killed? And that's not even talking about the fentanyl. I mean, how many deaths in this world can be connected to Joe Biden and his presidency? More than we really want to know. And, you know, he feels no responsibility whatsoever. These incidents around the world that I was talking about, Ukraine, and these things would not have happened if we had a strong president. They've happened because of his weakness. And that's a fact. And the media, some of the media do cover the border crisis pretty good. Most of it doesn't. But these stories here are border stories. And there are people all over this country that are victims of crimes each and every day, probably since I've been having this conversation right now in this segment, that could have been prevented. Now, remember, Sunday at 2, come meet Steve Kane and me at Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings Plus is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. You're going to have a great time. This is the first time Steve and I have had an appearance together in over a year. We don't do these very often. And plus, the food is just great at Wings Plus. Everything is homemade, including the sauces on the wings. Homemade. Nothing at Wings Plus comes out of a can. If you take I-95 or the Turnpike, exit at Sample Road and head west, about a mile west of University. If you take I-75 or the Sawgrass, get off at Sample and head east okay? And it's still about a mile west of University if you're coming that way, and on the south side of Sample Road. Look forward to seeing you all there again. It's this Sunday at 2 p.m. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and come back with more. I told you we had a lot to cover today, didn't I? It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
That's really a sad story.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm
That is a
Beach.
really sad story.
PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
All right, welcome back. Now, a story here. I meant to talk about this when I brought up the story about the Chinese guy and the swastikas, okay? Oh my goodness. You know, I told you guys there were a lot of stories to talk about today, a lot of them, and some of these are so disturbing. So let me just recap the Chinese story and then this one so I can put them together. So a Chinese national, not a Chinese American, a Chinese man who's a Chinese citizen was arrested in Arizona by the feds for spray painting swastikas on a Jewish temple in Michigan. All right? And I was talking earlier about, well, was this a Chinese spy op, right? A psych ops. There's another story here. Did you see the one about Martin Luther King's house in Atlanta? This was unbelievable. I found out about this through Don Jr., not the media. And after I found out about it from Don Jr., I went and found it in, of course, conservative news outlets, none of the other. Okay. If you go to Atlanta, they have the Martin Luther King Center, which is a beautiful museum. I've been there. Right across the street from that is Martin Luther King's church, Ebenezer Baptist Church. On the same street is Martin Luther King's home that he was born in. And it's part of a whole landmark thing. And if you've ever been there, it's really an amazing place. And because the museum is a spectacular museum. And then you go to, and then after you're done going through the museum, you walk across the street and you sit down in Martin Luther King's church. And I've been there a couple times, and I don't know if they always do this, but the 2 times I was there at Ebenezer Baptist Church, they actually play, and it's just like it was when Martin Luther King was preaching there. They play sermons of his on the speakers as you're sitting in the pews, and then after you're done there, and you go and check all that out, which is interesting and everything, you go through the museum, and they've got the eternal flame where Martin Luther King is and all that. You walk up the street to the home where he was born. It's on the same street, a block away or so. A woman was caught, not by the police, but by tourists, trying to burn down Martin Luther King's birth home. She had a 5-gallon jug of gasoline, and she was caught by tourists pouring it all over the front porch of Martin Luther King's house and the walls, and she was going to light it on fire and burn down Martin Luther King's home. She's black. This is from the Gateway Pundit. A 26-year-old woman was arrested in Atlanta on Thursday for allegedly attempting to set fire to the birth home of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. The suspect has been identified as Lanisha Chantrice Henderson. She faces charges of second-degree arson and interfering with government property because it's a landmark and the government owns all that. And Don Jr. is who I heard this from, and Don Jr. says that this was a false flag psych ops. That she was attempting to stage a fake hate crime to further this fake narrative they have that MAGA is a white supremacist organization. Now, she got caught by tourists, not by police, and they got her. They got their phones out and were recording her and called the police on her, and they had to arrest her. But this is what I'm talking about. What would have happened if these tourists did not catch this woman and record it, and she didn't get busted, and she would have burned down Martin Luther King's home? You know what would have happened? There would be such a dialogue going on today, blaming Donald Trump for it, you wouldn't even be able to believe. They'd have all that Charlottesville and everything else. So we have 2 incidents of hate crimes committed by out-of-character people. We have a black woman trying to burn down Martin Luther King's home, who's a saintly figure, Martin Luther King, right? We have a Chinese man spray painting swastikas on places where there's Jews and then fleeing across the country in Michigan, fleeing to Arizona. This isn't odd to you guys? You see what's going on here? This is, when we see the polls that have Trump so far ahead, he's at the top of the show in the 6 o'clock hour, I went through some new polls. For the first time in the Wall Street Journal national poll, Trump's beating Biden. The Republican primaries are over. Every poll everywhere is in Trump's favor. And I've been telling you guys, we've had a week or so of this since these new polls have been coming out with Joe Biden's low approval ratings. And every time we bring these up, I tell you the same thing. Don't think that they're just sitting back and saying, well, he's so far ahead, we're just resigned to him win. No. They're going to pull stuff. And what do we see? We see the Chinese doing this thing. We see this black woman get busted trying to burn down Martin Luther King's birth home. And let me tell you, if you've ever been to Martin Luther King's museum, Ebenezer Baptist Church, in his home, blacks that go there, it's like a religious experience to them. I mean, I was moved by it, but I've heard conversations with dads and their kids they're black, and it's like a special thing to them. It's a holy experience to them. And to burn down Martin Luther King's home would be devastating. Devastating. Who would think of doing such a thing? Well, you might think the white supremacist, but it was a black woman. The same week that the Chinese guy spraying swastikas around. Come on. These are out-of-character hate crimes. Something's going on here. And what's going on is Trump is winning. Then there's another thing going on. Now this is, I mean, I feel like I'm going to have a stroke because these stories that are out there are so insane, okay? And when you start putting these stories together, it's frightening. So listen to this. Now, you may have heard about this, but I'll put it together with something else. Kevin McCarthy endorsed Trump over the weekend. Listen to this. I mean, this makes no sense. I mean, Trump's responsible for him not being the Speaker of the House, right? Listen to this. This is Kevin McCarthy.
Will Donald Trump be the nominee? Yes. And the Republican Party? Yes. And if Biden stays as the nominee for the Democrats, I believe Donald Trump will win. I believe the Republicans will gain more seats in the House and the Republicans will win the Senate.
Can he count on your support?
Yes.
That's an endorsement.
I will support the president. I will support President Trump.
Would you be willing to serve in a Trump cabinet?
In the right position. Look, if I'm the best person for the job, yes. Look, I worked with President Trump on a lot of policies. We worked together to win the majority. But we also have a relationship where we're very honest with one another.
Oh, my goodness. So Kevin McCarthy endorses Trump and volunteers to serve in his administration. Well, I know, it's insane. So McCarthy is leaving the House at the end of the month, right? Right now we have a 3-seat majority with we were talking about this on Friday's show. Now there's been a development over the weekend. With McCarthy gone, that leaves us with a 2-seat majority in the House of Representatives. Keep in mind, we had a 4-seat majority and Kevin McCarthy got Santos tossed out a week and a half ago, right? Now because of Kevin McCarthy, we're going to have a 2-seat majority, which is barely a majority in the House of Representatives, right? Well, Laura Loomer over the weekend reported that in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a expose released on Matt Gaetz, and she says that her sources are telling her that what's in the Matt Gaetz expose is worse than anything that we heard about George Santos. Now, we know that Kevin McCarthy hates him. Right? I mean, because Matt Gaetz led the charge to get him out. If this report comes out about Matt Gaetz, it's worse than Santos, aren't they going to have to remove him too? If it's worse than Santos, which Laura Loomer says her sources say it is, aren't they going to have to remove him too? And I promise you, Kevin McCarthy is behind that report that's coming out on Matt Gaetz. I don't know if it's true or not, what's going to be coming out, because I don't know what's in it. Loomer didn't seem to know what was in it either. But it looks to me, now that I know, you start to get paranoid when you see all these things, right? It looks to me like Kevin McCarthy is trying to hand the House of Representatives back over to the Democrats. If he's gone, we've got 2. If they have to drop Matt Gaetz with this new report that's coming out, that gives us a 1-seat majority. If they had a vote for Speaker with a 1-seat majority, with all these Kevin McCarthy disciples still in there, would we have the speakership or would they? If it came down to a vote. I'm not so sure about that. We're in a new area where we've never been before. Now listen, we're going to take our last break of the day. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. I know I've laid a lot out there today, and a lot of it's pretty depressing stuff and scary. And that's the news. I mean, I'm sorry. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are calling us from. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break and check in with William Youngman right after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on a Steve.
All right, every morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals starting the week off?
Starting a week off, giving us more of a buying opportunity. The markets continue to fall after making that huge run up to $2,147 a week ago. This morning, Friday, we saw gold close down $23.60 at $2,004.50. Silver lost 81 cents at $22.97. Platinum was up $10, bucking the trend of the other metals, up to $917, and palladium lost $26 at $930. This morning, gold overnight trading in a range from $1,991 to $2,008, and right now at $1,993, that's down $11.50. Silver down 7 cents at $22.90 the ounce. Platinum again up $8 at $925, and palladium up $17 at $947. So it's certainly giving us a buying opportunity below $2,000.
Yeah, and when it comes to buying today, what are your recommendations?
We really like gold and silver right now. I mean, I think the markets are giving us a buying opportunity. We've seen this before when markets make new highs and then pull back like this, and it's just a great time to take advantage of.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, no matter where you're located, you can buy from William Youngerman. In fact, no matter where you're located in the world, you can do that. Just simply make a phone call, and they'll walk you through the very, very simple process. And you will find with William Youngerman that you're getting more metals for your money, I'll promise you that, than you're getting elsewhere. He opens at 10 a.m. You can give William Youngerman a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
Back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning.
Yeah, you're.
Oh, Brian.
Hey, IB, what's up?
You can't lose Matt Gates, okay? Shorter than killing someone or breaking some serious house rule, the Democrats get away with too much things like Nancy Pelosi doing her in-house trading, in Mendez with money in gold bars in his closet.
Yeah.
These people getting away with murder, and they're trying to shorten our people.
Well, this is what we know. Kevin McCarthy is ticked off, and he's very much into revenge. Remember, he hit with his elbow a congressman who voted against him in the kidneys. Kevin McCarthy, he's gotten our Ford majority down to 2 because he's leaving, and he got rid of Santos. Now this report's coming out on Matt Gaetz that's worse than Santos.
But the thing that they do is just like, it's more immoral to the people. If Santos did something and it hurts himself, he didn't really hurt anybody. Okay, they do more evil things and profit from it. Like the lady running for the presidency who's now working for Boeing, getting all she went in.
Nikki Haley.
What?
Yeah. $8 million. $8 million.
So why would they want to try to get rid of our people over garbage? It's just bull. I'm just so sick of it, And after McCarthy and this guy, he cannot get anywhere near the White House. Okay, he has to be at a distance. Let him just
just whatever he's going to continue to do, let him do it. If he'll get no help from the administration, no help from...
Well, I mean, is it crazy to think that Kevin McCarthy is trying to hand the House speakership over to the Democrats because he's so ticked off that he lost it? I mean, we're going to have a one-seat majority.
Yeah, but think of the timing. Why would he do that now? I mean,
Ego.
Yeah, that Arrested Development elbowing that guy in that interview. That's just Arrested Development showing the immaturity and the childhood within these people, like Nancy Pelosi tearing up that thing in behind Trump when he was speaking in Congress, and she this sense of not controlling yourself. Hey, if Rashid Khalif and people parade around the Capitol and protesting, breaking the rules that people are still in prison for, they get rid of all this murder, and they want to get Matt Gaetz or something. Man, these people really too.
Pretty bad, IB. I mean, we are in a place we've never been in before. These are some dirty people. All right, appreciate the call. My goodness, I know these stories are nuts, and I don't think I'm paranoid on any of the stories I brought up today. Be nice if I was. I mean, I'd like to be paranoid and be wrong about all these things, but I don't think so. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Terry from Florida.
Yeah, Terry.
Hey, I was listening to some of the things you were talking about. I thought about it and I said, what better way to destroy a nation than to destroy within?
That's right. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
The Trojan horse thing. And so, and on top of that, they're trying to start a race war, you know? And I believe that race war is coming.
Well, why do you think a black woman was trying to burn down Martin Luther King's house? Fake hate crime, and that would, I mean, I'm going to tell you. I mean, you, I'm sure you know that would have caused God knows what.
Great disturbance. I mean, everybody would be going crazy. You know what I mean? So, you know, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop this stuff. You know what I mean? And that's the worst thing you could do to try to, you know, destroy a nation.
Well, listen, that's a couple things here, okay? If you go back to, you know, like the Vietnam War era when we had the Cold War with the Soviet Union was behind the Vietnam War protest, right? I mean, we were fighting the communists in Vietnam. The Soviets were behind the financing of most of the Vietnam War protests. And during that whole era, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the Soviets, who were our enemies then, were also funding and recruiting Black Panthers in this country and things to work, you know, to get them up against the establishment. They were doing that. So now what do we have? We have the Democrats and China doing the same thing the Soviets were doing in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They're causing division. This Chinese guy with the swastikas, black woman trying to burn down Martin Luther King's home. This is what's going on. The forces against us are causing divisions, and that's what all this is. The country is more united than you think. It's outside forces causing the division. It's scary.
Even with
the what?
Even with the I can't get the name of that. But anyway,
yeah.
They were breaking into places and then blaming it on black people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, you're cutting out. I got to run because your phone's cutting out. But I agree with everything you said in the beginning about that they're dividing us from within. This is what I'm talking about. This is a psych ops operation, and it's really scary. And that's why the media are a party to it, because these stories they don't report, and if they do, they're mild stories and they don't connect them together, like I've been doing this morning, because they don't want you to be looking at them that way. Now, here's a voice from the past. Oh my goodness, Al Gore. We got so lucky that he did not win in 2000, because Al Gore would have been, as bad as George Bush and Dick Cheney were, at least they were in control of the situation on 9/11 a little bit, okay? Could you imagine if Al Gore were the president on 9/11? The only thing that would have gotten Al Gore upset is if the environmental impact of 9/11, not the people. But he gave an interview, and he was talking about climate change and mental health Listen to this weirdo. We really dodged one on this guy not becoming president.
There's a mental health crisis around the world, Jake, that we hear people talking about. I think that one of the main reasons for that is that young people look at the fact that we are not yet solving the climate crisis or dealing with some of these other challenges, and we hear this word thrown around, poly-crisis. Well, solving the climate crisis is a poly-solution. We know what to do. We have the means to do it.
Okay, so we don't need to hear any more about Gore. See, what they've done is, he's saying that the mental health crisis is because we're not doing anything about climate change. See, this is another problem we have, okay? With the last caller, the division within. The left, with their climate cult, what he's saying is they have terrified an entire generation of young adults in this country that the earth is not going to be able to support human life, and we're doing nothing about it, so they're in a panic. And they're having mental health issues. And you know what? For once in his life, he might be right. It's not the climate change causing the mental health. It's the climate change scare that he and others have been promoting for so long that may be responsible for an increase of mental health problems in the country. My goodness, nothing good comes out of the left. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Mike. Oh, boy, what a rough day of news.
You got it, I tell you. But let me say something a lot of people don't realize with regard to the Chinese. I believe that the yen is going to replace the United States dollar as the currency standard in the world. That's what I think is going to eventually happen. Because take a look right now at what the Chinese are making. They're making everything that we use. They've got control, basically, of what's going down in our country. They own the meatpacking houses. They own the farming. They own land. They own all the clothing you're wearing. It's all made in China. Mm-hmm. Coming across the northern border of Canada with the electronics on it, I think they're ready to move on this country. I don't think people even
ready to move. They've already moved. They've already made the move. It's already happened.
Wait.
Yeah. I know. This
is what's going down right now.
No, I mean this country is under attack in ways that most people don't even understand. And someone like me talking about it, people probably think I'm nuts, but I think I'm as clear as possible on all of this. It's frightening.
That's correct. You're very, very. You're always spot on the money. I really, really admire your intelligence. One last thing. I got to tell you about the pillow topper from Mike Lindell. I bought that, and I'm telling you, I feel like I'm sleeping on a cloud every night. I cannot believe it. It's so great. I went ahead and got it as a Christmas present for my youngest daughter and her husband. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably going to be one of the best Christmas presents one could buy if they were to want to invest in that.
Absolutely.
Right now, he's got that 50% promo code going on where, you can get this thing. It's ridiculously cheap.
And not only that, until the 15th, you get 15% off the MyPillow mattress topper. You get 50% off and free shipping.
A lot of people don't realize that they spend 1/3 of their lifetime that they're alive in bed if they sleep 8 hours.
That's right. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate the call, Mike. Take care. He wants to be in another commercial because he's in the. That's Mike from the Jupiter Joe commercial. Well, maybe I'll put him in another commercial. What the heck? I'll see. All right, let's. But it's right. He's right about that mattress topper. It's like sleeping on a cloud. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Houston.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How are you today? Brian, the death of that cheerleader really was a terrible situation. But that whole family is destroyed by her passing. We're listening to the whole show today. We take a notice. I mean, if Trump had remained in office, 90% of what we're talking about on the show today, we wouldn't be talking about.
Correct.
Because he would have taken care of everything, the wall, the crime, including the trouble in the Mideast, all these things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And, that's what I say. That's why I say, like that the wall, the Vietnam Memorial has over 50,000 names on it of Americans that are dead, mostly because of Lyndon Johnson, but other presidents too. I mean, I think Biden's responsible for more deaths than are on the Vietnam Wall.
Absolutely, and globally too, from just by every country on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Policies in that. Is that how big is this election coming up? It's the whole ball game. The whole ball game. So,
I mean, my goodness, these. I don't know how long you've been listening today, but today's show is really not the kind of show that you really like to do, because the stories that I went through today are depressing. Yeah.
But they're necessary for the public to really to address, and especially when you wrap them up and summarize them, people get a good clear view of what's going on, because this is affecting the nation and is affecting everybody's life.
Yeah.
I hope they keep that in mind when they go to the polls, and everybody go to the polls and please vote for Trump.
Absolutely.
And
we're done.
Over.
We're done. The whole world's over, really, not just this country. Mm-hmm.
Effect for this election here, absolutely.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call, and don't forget, Sunday, come meet Steve Kane and me, 2:00, Wings Plus, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. Wings Plus has been with us for about 15 years on the Steve Kane Show. And I was eating there many years before they were with us on the program. But Steve Kane and I will be there Sunday at 2 for lunch, and you are all invited. Now, you cannot make reservations. Just show up, and you're going to have a great, great meal. I'm going to have 2 baskets of wings. I'm going to have a basket of the lemon pepper and a basket of the medium hot. Those are my favorite. And it's Sunday afternoon. I probably won't have a beer. I'll probably have some sweet tea or something to wash it down with, and a basket of fries. And if wings aren't your thing, order the hamburgers. Oh, man, they're so good. The overstuffed boar's head roast beef sandwich is another favorite. The clam chowder, which is homemade at Wings Plus. So it's this Sunday at 2, Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs. Steve Kane and I both will be there. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar. WIRK 103.
All right, guys, I got to run because I got places I got to be this morning. But I'll see you soon. Make sure you subscribe if you're not, and like the video, everyone, all right? Thanks for watching.